also was in the news, man. This was right when we finished recording last time, man. It was a historic
Yeah, it was
mega
literally like an hour after.
gazillion quadrillion dollar deal they got done. Patrick Mahomes, man, crazy deal, man. 10 years, was it 503 million? I mean, I didn't want to leave that third million off. I know that's important when you're talking about the details and everything, man. But what was your thoughts on that, man?
Sure. I mean, why not? If you're the Chiefs, I mean, the Chiefs, you kind of got to be ecstatic, I think, by doing that deal. With Mahomes, I think it makes sense too. I think it just comes down to, with any person, any player, what do you want? Because probably a lot of people throughout Brady's career, they're thinking, Brady, you're an idiot. You should be taking more money.
Yeah.
But if he prefers winning, maybe he prefers giving the team a little bit more leverage on how they can bring in guys to help the team win overall. If he prefers that a little bit more than having an extra $5 to $10 million a year, then that's on him. So I think some people are saying Mahomes left some out on the table, but at the same time, isn't his guaranteed half of that $200 million? So it's $100 million. That's his guaranteed. So,
because I want to say he gets, I think, a 66 as sign-in, 140 injury guarantee, and then after that is rolling guarantee, similar to what the Steelers are going to try to do with Le'Veon Bell.
All right, so let's say that over the next 4 to 5 years, he's able to play out, this first half of the contract. I think that guaranteed money makes sense for a contract in that 4 to 5 year window, correct? And I was hearing some stuff too at that point, he might be able to renegotiate.
Yeah. So depending on how the market resets and stuff
it just feels like that Mahomes and Chiefs relationship, it's going to be a good one where they probably will come out and renegotiate if it's needed, if Mahomes is maybe feeling a little bit slighted on his side. Yeah. If he's performing like he's performing. Dude, I don't know. I think it's fine. I mean, we all know he's the next guy in the league, so Chiefs wanted to have him for the next 10 years, and it seems like he likes what the Chiefs are doing as a franchise and likes Kansas City, so good to me.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's personal preference. If he wants to sign a 10-year deal, I don't have an issue with it. I think for me personally, I wouldn't want to sign something that long just because we talk about how much changes in 10 years. I mean, 10 years ago, we were talking about Aaron Rodgers. And think about him like being able to reset the market. And then you saw 5 years later how that changed. Or even Vic, when he came and signed with the Eagles and he signed his big deal, the $100 million deal, how we thought that was. Or even Donovan McNabb, when he signed a 10-year deal and actually played out the whole 10-year for $100 million. The market shifts every couple of years. That's my only concern with it. So I understand that they are trying to play ahead in terms of projecting where the market will be. But what's to say a guy like a Lamar Jackson in 2 or 3 years can't reset that again? Or even a Deshaun Watson can't potentially come up and come close to resetting it. Or we talked about the new wave of quarterbacks, your Joe Burrows, your Tua Tagovailoas, or even in a year from now when Trevor Lawrence comes to the league, when their contract, when it's time for them to re-sign and renegotiate. Right now, it's a mega deal for Mahomes, but in 5, 6, 7 years, now he could be on the back end like, man, hold on, I need more money. This isn't cool.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like they'll be able to work that out at some point.
But we say that, but we've seen how many times people, and you know how fans are. We talk about this all the time. They hit you with you signed it. Don't ask for money. You signed the deal. You knew what you were signing for. So that's my only concern. I personally would have said a 5-year, 6-year max, because that still gives you the flexibility to get out of it while you're still young and while you still can, I guess, while you're still in your prime necessarily. When you're talking about Mahomes, I think he's 24, I think right now. So, 10 years from now, he's at 34. Now he's still going to be in his prime, but there's a difference between getting paid when you're 34 versus if you're getting paid when you're 30 or 29 for his case. And that's the only thing I was thinking about in that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I guess I am kind of looking at it as a 5 to 6 year thing. Maybe the 10-year deal, the optics of that is kind of just for looks and just to show you like, hey, because, at 5 or 6 years, say that is the point where, you know what, I want more money. It's either you do renegotiate or he wants out. It's like, trade me and I'll get a new contract.
But he has a no
else.
trade clause as well. So that is in there. So like I said, he could initiate the trade, but say he's playing bad. And this is the only thing that I was concerned about.
Who are you more concerned for? Just both sides?
I think
even?
both sides. Okay. Yeah, because I said, I could see it's pros and cons for both sides. The pros for the Chiefs are they have him locked up 10 years.
Yeah, for sure.
But even if he keeps playing on this level, he's going to be underpaid. And, by the time it's year 7, 8 of that contract. But the flip side is if he gets hurt, if he starts playing bad, if it goes into the Aaron Rodgers thing where he's the best player on offense, but he doesn't have enough talent around him to win, well, now you're just, you're wasting time. You're not really doing anything. But then if you're Mahomes, the good side is, well, hey, you got all this money guaranteed. You have this contract. You have the long-term stability. But, okay, say things aren't going the way you want to go or you want more money, you're stuck unless you ask for a trade. But then that's going to be a whole different situation. And you got to find someone that's willing to pick up the contract, get a negotiation and all those other things. So it's a lot of variables that go into that, along with the fact that if he wants certain people to come and play with him, he's not going to have the money like as an organization because of the contract that he has. So that's why I say I can see both sides, pros and cons with it.
You know what? I was listening when this first came out too. I think it was The Herd. He was making a good point I kind of like too. And it goes back to what I was saying at the beginning. It's, all on what Mahomes wants. Because I'm sure a lot of this was detailed out for him.
Yeah.
Where, it might be smarter for you financially to do a 5 or 6 year deal. Mm-hmm. But maybe he wants a 10-year deal and just set it, forget it. He doesn't want to worry about money as much. Like how much is enough? And maybe that was it for him. And it's just like, I just want to win football games. This is enough money for me. I'll be able to make it up some other way if I need money. But,
with Hunt's ketchup, that's how you gonna make it up. What would you talking about?
Yeah, dude, that's what I mean. Like he'll be a staple in the Kansas City community and have all these other sponsorships. So I don't know. I think there might be some truth to that too. It's all on what you want. So if that's what he wanted, good for him.
Yeah, like I said, man, I think he's going to be fine. Now, I guess my question to you would be, over the next 10 years, who do you think will be better? Him, Lamar?
I got him, dude.
Deshaun Watson, all those guys?
I got Mahomes, dude.
Okay.
Why do you got another one emerging?
I think Lamar's definitely going to be in the conversation.
I guess we still got to see Lawrence, but Mahomes, I told you last couple podcasts, or whenever we do bring him up on the podcast, he won young. He's playing with house money now. Mm-hmm. I think big things are ahead for Mahomes.
Okay. Bigger than what Aaron Rodgers did when he won it young and was at that stage in his career? I mean, now, granted, he wasn't as young as Mahomes, but he still won it within his first.
I know, because that
seasons there, yeah.
Because that is the argument. I was talking to one of my buddies, and he had a hot take saying that Mahomes is gonna, whenever he's done with his career, we're gonna be talking about Mahomes versus Brady as the GOAT, and it's gonna be a legit conversation with Mahomes. And I brought up that point. I was just like,
it ain't no legit conversation. We know who the GOAT is right here, baby.
Huh? Yeah, I know. Well, I told him that. I was like, listen. Let's say second GOAT before you
second GOAT
before you go off the wheels here. But whenever I brought up the counterpoint, actually, like I didn't really knock what he was saying. It's like anyone could have a prediction,
right? But
that's going to be hard to do with that type of contract because what Brady was able to do with that contract and how the Patriots were able to build that team, I don't know how often we're going to be able to see that because we saw what happened with Aaron Rodgers after he won young. He got these massive deals. The Packers defense, the Packers team around him just really wasn't the same as that first year
because they didn't have enough money to pay those guys. That's always the issue with that, man.
Yeah. So you think it's easy? I mean, the Saints with Breeze probably thought it was easy. The Seahawks with Russell Wilson, Packers with Rodgers. You think it's going to be easy? Us with Big Ben, we have two, but it's tougher than you think. And the Patriots were able to have this amazing formula. But I think in terms of the next quarterback, I mean Mahomes. Yeah, I'm backing Mahomes.
All right, I can dig that, man.
Until he proves me otherwise.
I could dig
or
it,
one of the other guys steps up.
Yeah, I could dig it.
Hindsight will be 20/20, I guess. But yeah, I'm saying Mahomes right now.
All right, I like it then.
Are you saying Mahomes?
Yeah, I think Mahomes. I think it's still going to be
because you were coming high off his playoff run, man. Right?
You said I was coming high off of it?
Yeah. You really liked what you were saying with Mahomes.
Yeah. I like Mahomes.
Yeah. So
that's what I was just checking to see what your thoughts were.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't have an issue with Mahomes. I think Mahomes is that dude.